What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Athenator channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Predator Hunting Grounds game. As of right now, the game has been out for one day over a week. It released last Friday. It is Saturday the week after, and I think I've put in enough time to give a good comprehensive review on the game, letting you know everything you need to know, similar to a before you buy, I guess, or if you're just interested of what I think. So yeah, let's get it. So I'm going to rate it. I've put aside some pros and cons of the game, and I'm just gonna go through and explain them, why they're in pros or cons, and yeah, just pretty much go over the game. So the game itself is you can either be the Predator or the Fire Team. As the Fire Team, you got fucking blast the Predator, survive, and finish objectives while fighting off AI and getting to the extraction point if you complete the mission. As the Predator, though, your job is to kill the fire team before they can do their job. So you just pretty much gotta intercept that shit, fuck their day up, and then you out of that beat, right? You're gonna rip their skulls out, okay? So that's pretty much the basis of the game. I mean, there's not much more to it, and I like that it's that simplistic. So yeah, let's get into it. So starting off with the pro, let's start off on a positive note, right? The first thing I have here is the game looks amazing. The graphics are absolutely beautiful. The only problem that I've had with it is at some points it looks a bit blurry in certain spots in the trees, but that's it. Other than that, it looks absolutely stunning, and it's hardly noticeable. It looks perfect. Another pro is the customization you have on both sides. So if you're the fire team, obviously you can customize your guns with camos and attachments, but also your actual character. You have tons of different hats, goggles, masks, helmets, all sorts of different things. You can customize the way your clothes look, what type of like body you are, so you can be boy or girl, all sorts of stuff. And as the Predator, same thing. You can customize like your skin pattern, the color of the pattern. You can customize if you're a boy or girl, your armor pattern, the way the armor looks, everything, and it's absolutely amazing. I love that, and you don't actually have to pay any real money for things that look good, which I'll get into later. Another thing with the customization is that the creative class system is absolutely amazing. It is exactly like a Call of Duty game. It feels like I'm playing a Call of Duty game, especially in the game and in the menu, because I can select a weapon through the categories of AR, sniper, submachine guns, pistols, shotguns, all of that. You can have a primary and a secondary, both of which can have attachments. You can have perks. You have perk slots. You can have equipment such as grenades and flashbangs and so forth. And it's the same thing with the Predator. You can have two different weapons, a primary and a secondary, perks, equipment, all sorts of stuff. It's amazing, and I really like that they added that because not a lot of games like this. Not that there are that, excuse me, not that there are that many, but for the amount that there are, none of them have that much equipment space, I guess you could say. But another point is that it's very, very fun to be on both sides. As the Predator, you gotta go down, and it's so super satisfying to wipe out the whole squad and get your kills, and it's very rewarding and very, very fun as a Predator. But it's also fun to be looking out in the trees and on the run and on the hustle to kill the AI and get your objectives done. Excuse me, as the fire team as well. So I really like that. If I get randomly drafted, it doesn't matter what I get, what team I get. It's gonna be fun either way. Another thing is that it has a lot of stuff from the movies. Now, I love the Predator movies. I'm a huge fan, which is I might be biased about the game because I'm so big of a fan, but it has a bunch of the weapons from the movies. It has, similar voice quotes referencing the movie. The Predator, I pre-ordered and I got the original armor and helmet and everything. So yeah, all that is really cool, and I like seeing stuff from the movie. And rumor has it that there might be some knives that you can get from the loot boxes, which I'll get to later. But let's not talk about that right now. Another thing is that it has some really cool mechanics in the game, such as if you're the predator and you lose health, you only have 2 or 3 stim shots, depending if you use a certain perk to give you more. But there are wild boars running around the jungle. I mean, you can't just have a jungle with no fucking animals in it. So if you kill one of these pigs or boars or whatever you want to call them, you can actually feast them or eat them. It says feast in game, but yeah, you can regain your health that way if you use all of your stim shots, which I don't think is overpowered because they still can run away from you, and you still have to find them. So there's not that many. Um, there, you as the fire team, you can get mud, and you can like rub the mud on yourself, so that way if the predator uses his infrared vision, he can't see you because the mud is cool, and so he'll pick up the mud and it'll just stay blue like the rest of the trees and everything. If you die as the fire team, you can actually get reinforced, they call it, or revived. I'll have some gameplay up right now on how that works, and pretty much how all of this works. But yeah, your teammates can revive you, and I'm not sure if they can revive you more than once, but I know that they can a certain amount of times. So if you die, you're not out of the game for good, which is nice. Um, I've already went over the creative class, but I still wanted to bring that up. That's really cool. Like again, it's just amazing how a game like this can also feel like a first-person shooter, such as Call of Duty. Um, when you are the Predator, you can actually turn on his invisibility, just like from the movies. And if you crouch while doing that, you're completely invisible to the AI and the fire team as well, so the real people as well. And another really cool feature of the Predator is that you have a mimic wheel, which is so you can bring up this kind of circle on your screen, and you can say things like quotes that the fire team says, so they'll think they're your friends if they can't see you, and so they'll probably put their guard down, which is really neat. I personally use it just to like brag when I win, kind of. If I like wipe the squad and I win as the predator, you can do a roar, and so that's pretty cool. So I can do that, and it's pretty sick. Another thing is that the game creators are actually listening to the people, because when the game launched, there were still some problems, especially with the balancing between the predator and the fire team. Like the predator, you could get fucking shredded. Like you should be the king of the jungle. You're this beast. You rule the entire place. You should be able to take these guys out. But it really wasn't too difficult to win as the fire team when the game first released. You could get easily just mowed down. I mean, like, it's really not fun. Like, if I'm the fire team, I should have my ass clenched tight if I see the predator. I should be scared that the game is going to end on the spot if I see this dude. But I'm really not. I feel like I'm more scared fighting the fire team as the predator rather than vice versa. But there are some things that you can do, which I could cover in another video. I could do like my setup or how I win, because I'm pretty good. I'm a pretty damn good predator. Like, I rip their spines out like instantaneously. Um, Other than that, the loot crate system. So I brought this up a little bit earlier, but I want to touch on it again. I love it. I mean, like, it's not forced upon you. There's not any, like, crazy, you can't buy it with real money. All of the coins that you get to buy the loot crates, you get skins for your guns, shaders for the predator's armors, different armor types for the predator, pretty much anything that you can customize with, you can get it from these loot drops, and you don't have to get these things from the loot drops. If you save up your coins, or whatever they call it in the game, which you get quite a bit of from just playing the game, and you can find them around the map too, is you can just buy them. Just if you save up the most expensive things in the game, the nicest ones are around 75, and you can get that in around 5 games, I think. And some of the other stuff that's like just the regular, it can be like 25, which you can get in like 2 or 3. So yeah, I really like that about it. So yeah, that's no problem. So let's move on to the cons now. Every game has its flaws, and Predator Hunting Grounds is no exception. It was a lot worse at launch. Like I said, the creators are listening to the people and updating it the way that it needs to be, adding changes and balances, which I'm very happy about, because it wasn't that fun being shredded as the Predator. But let's get into them. So there are some glitches in the game, and that is when you bring up this wheel to select your gear that you've equipped. um, I've had problems where I couldn't change it. So what you do is you kind of hover your mouse or your cursor over the gear that you want to select, and when you close the menu, it'll choose that for you. But I've had problems where I've switched it around and it's just automatically snapping back to the one that I already have equipped, but you can fix it pretty easily. Say you're using the plasma gun, all you have to do is maybe shoot a shot of the plasma gun or use whatever equipment that it's not letting you switch from, and then that should fix it for you, and it should recognize that, oh, he is not using this, or he is using this and wants to change. Another thing is that, like I said, it was not that balanced, and it still isn't if you're just starting out. There are some key things that you need to do to be able to survive as the predator and be successful, which I think I will make a video about probably sometime next week. But it's still a little bit unfair. Another thing is the queue times. If you want to be Predator really bad, you can choose to join a game only if you can be the Predator. But wait times, expect to be at least, at the bare minimum, 5 minutes to get in as Predator. Maybe like 2 or 3 minutes to get in as the fire team, or you can press no preference, and you can have a chance of getting as the Predator, but I've never had that happen to me. I've only had that happen to one guy that I met on there, and I usually play as the Predator, and I think it's worth waiting for because the matches usually take 10 to 15 minutes, so that's good. Sometimes even less if you're a really good Predator. Another thing is leveling up. It needs some improving because leveling up is absolutely crucial, like I've said many times. You know, you need certain weapons, certain gear, to be able to be very successful with the Predator uh, without, you know, shitting your pants and tryharding and sweating, you know? So, leveling up, you level up a little bit less than half of a level for each game. And so, I think that um, there should be at least some more ways to get XP, or maybe a little bit of a boost in XP, or just dropping the equipment things down, because if they're that crucial, they should be a little bit easier, because I can totally see people just leaving the game behind because they have to grind and level up to get good, that are not super into the game. But personally, I like it, and so I'm willing to put those hours in, which I am around halfway to maximum level. As of right now, I'm level 50, and so the max is 100. So, um, if that's a, I think that's a pretty good way of explaining how fast you level up. Uh, so yeah, another thing is that the games are relatively repetitive, even though they're fun. I can only play for like 2, 3, maybe 4 hours at max without getting bored, because you know, I mean, it's the same thing. If you're the fire team, all of the different objectives, even though they are different each game, they are still pretty brief, and they feel pretty similar. I mean, you're either looking for something, or hacking into a computer, or defending something, or blowing something up. And I'm not saying it's not fun. It definitely is, but it does get boring after a little bit. But other than that, I think I've covered the entire game. All of the pros, all of the cons, and now I just want to go over my final thoughts. Personally, I think that Predator Hunting Grounds is a great game. Of course, it has room for improvement, but hey, I think every game does at this stage. I definitely see potential. Um, it is crossplay. I forgot to mention that, so you can play with your friends, which I really like. And overall, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Probably closer, actually, to 7.8. Closer to 8 out of 10. Just because I'm that big of a Predator fan, but I'm doing this through the eyes of somebody who kind of likes Predator, kind of likes this style of game. Maybe they played Friday the 13th and were into that. I could totally see them giving them a 7.5, at lowest a 6, maybe a 5.5. But yeah, I personally like it a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys want to see that class setup tutorial, I guess, or how I play the Predator. And I usually win, so if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share this video with anybody who's interested in the game or is still looking to buy it. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.